I'm just at the beach right now in January. It's very cold out. Let me show you. I had the day off, so I thought I'd go for a little walk. West Coast winter. And I just found a little spot outside of the wind and felt inspired to hit record, to just spend some time in this emptiness. The emptiness of what is. What a miracle we find ourselves in, and what a gift to be able to realize that in this life, that the story trajectory that the mind was leading us on, there's a way to opt out of it. There's a little crack in the story that we can see, that we don't need to follow, that we don't need to identify with. This person that we thought we were, constantly whispering, in the background, I want this, they should have said this, what am I going to do about this? And then where are you? Where is this I that wants something? Where is this I that should? Where is this I that feels guilty? It feels like it's there. But when you look for it in the direct experience, which is the only thing that's actually real, that's actually happening, immediacy of life, immediacy of what is, of this moment, you will just find this open experiencing. But for who? For what? But the mind wants to seek. It wants to seek. It doesn't want to find. It wants to seek. The mind is designed to seek, to tell a story, to interpret reality, to give its translation of what is. And that's okay. If that's how it's appearing, that's how it's appearing. But we do this spiritual investigation as a way of really making our lives better, finding the happiness, connecting with this void, connecting with this open clarity, this unconditional love. And even take away the concept of unconditional love right now. And just feel it. It's funny how the mind will always ask, what is love? And yeah, there's ways, it's fine. It's fine that it asks what love is. And I could say 1,000 definitions, but my favorite is love is an expression of unity. Right? It attracts, it brings together. But take away the concept of unconditional love and just feel it. That's what it is. Shut up and feel it. It's not a concept that needs to be understood, right? Because the mind will say, I need to understand it. I need to figure out what love is so that I can get to it. So that I can claim it and make it mine. Let's do all these studies on happiness. Let's ask these deep philosophical questions. What is love? Is it an action? Is it a feeling? Is it where we come from? Is it what we're all seeking for? I mean, you could say yes to all of that. But you just know it when you feel it. It's not a contemplation. It's not something to learn. Right? The best lovers are not in their minds. The best lovers are connected to what is, to the intimacy of this moment. And that connection is always there. It's not like you disconnect from it and then you connect from it. I mean, of course, you could look at it like that. You could look at it like I disconnected from it, but it's just the thoughts going and connecting with the story. And that's okay, that's it too, right? There's the freedom for that too, but this connection with what is really what you are. And even take away the word connection because they're not two separate things, like you're connecting with what is. The mind creates that separation. The mind creates the I and the environment, right? Or the I and the feeling, the feeler and the feeling, the seer and the seen. But where's the boundary? Take away language right now, and where is the boundary? Where's the boundary? What's between inside and outside? There's only inside. There's only outside, you could say. And now throw all of that away and just be with what's here. Not because there's something more to find in what is. But because this is where beauty is. The beauty of it all. And for this character, that was a major motivator for the spiritual path. God, I pray for a beautiful life. Bring me a beautiful life. Beauty and freedom. Beauty and freedom. What more could you ask for? And the freedom that I speak of is the freedom of not knowing. The freedom of not needing to know. I remember when I was a kid, I used to stand on the countertop in my kitchen, and my dad would have me like lean backwards and he would catch me. And the character is a pretty big risk taker, a little bit too much, to be honest. Been burned many times by overdoing things, but the character likes that risk, that I'm gonna overdo it rather than underdo it. I'm gonna test the limits here. And yeah, even as a kid, it's like, okay, I'm gonna lean back. I don't know if someone's gonna catch me, but I've gotta trust. And of course I trusted my dad, but like there's always that kind of, I'm falling back, what's gonna happen? But this isn't like a belief that I'm saying, like just fall and trust, because there's no you to trust. There's no you that trusts. Like it's not another strategy, say, okay, just trust life. Like there's a me that's choosing to trust life. It can feel like that initially, perhaps. But if you go a little bit deeper, there's no trust, there's no non-trust, there's just what is. The idea that one needed to trust is, perhaps you could say, an expression of the belief that there was someone here that was able to control what would become, what would be. That there's someone here navigating. Can you find that one right now? Where is the one who chooses? Where is the one who accomplishes? Where is the one who even speaks words? Who even is responsible for the words that appear, that come out? There can be like an impulse. You can feel an impulse and then bloop. I don't know how that's going to be expressed, but something comes out. But where's that center? Where's that little army general person in here that's like, I want this. I'm gonna say this. I want this food. Right? That there's a little center guy in here pulling the levers, controlling. There's just thoughts, empty thoughts that appear that say I, that come up. I don't know why. It's a function of our human experience. I feel like someone should make a movie about what it would be like if everybody just went mute. Wouldn't that be interesting? And we had to live kind of like animals? Like we could, I guess we would do sign language or something. But if there was no way to actually communicate with each other through words, even sign language words, maybe our hands get cut off too. And we can't speak. And so we're forced to just, okay, maybe we'll keep the hands. We'll keep the hands. But what a different world that would be, hey? To not be able to speak. There'd be a lot of complications. Things would move a lot slower. But there surely would be an intimacy with what is, a deeper intimacy. You know, living less in the head. a very convincing illusion that we find ourselves in. The thoughts tell this story, and then the experience is entangled in our nervous systems, and it makes things feel so real. But it's just thoughts and sensations. For emptiness. For being. And this clearness, this clear being, you can't, it's just, there's nothing, you can't do anything to it. You can't stop it. You can't find it. You can't leave it. You can't change it. You can't make it smaller or bigger. You can't even know it. And it's not even an it, but it's just what's undeniably here in every moment. Completely one with the appearance of form and sound and sensation. Shining. Unable to be turned off. Unable to be altered in any way by the situations of life, by the intentions of the mind. And it feels like a mystery to the mind. Right? The thoughts want to understand. They want to understand their source. But who is the one that wants to understand the source? There's not a separate thing called thoughts, an I thinking thoughts that's trying to understand something. But it feels like it wants to. It feels like it says, I want to know. But it's just conditioning. Why do you want to know? For what? For why? Just to appease the fears that it's been conditioned with. Just to keep itself safe from its imaginary projections that it believes in. It wants to know. It wants to be safe. All to maintain its relevance. All to maintain its imaginary story that's ultimately a mirage. It's not actually here. And the realization that's been experienced here after over 12 years of seeking, is this silence. I thought a beautiful poetic description of what this realization would come. There was an assumption, I guess, that it was that end of that sentence was leading to something, but It's so much deeper than that. It's so much deeper than any beautiful words that come through. It's just this effortlessness that's happening all around us constantly, right? A bird doesn't need to learn how to be a bird. It just is one. And so coming back into that naturalness is the end of spiritual seeking, is where all the concepts, the spiritual concepts and the path was leading to. What I speak about is where the concepts can't go. And yeah, you could call that a concept as well. We have to use words, but it's just a pointing that can't be argued with, because it's the only thing that we actually see, that we actually experience, this life, this direct being. It doesn't need to be defended or validated or justified or even noticed, even though how could it not be noticed from another sense? There is, of course, a self-concept or a knowing that there's a life here, even if it perhaps hasn't been reflected on too much by certain people, by most people. Doesn't need anything from you. There's just this purity. There's just this grace, this clean, fresh clearness, seeing, being that reports to nothing specific. Oh, and I see a seal in the water right now. Playful little thing. All of the different forms of life, right? What would it be like to be a beetle? Right? Or a fish, right? This clearness, it inhabits anything you can think of, any kind of being, right? It's the same in all of us. It's just expresses differently and is experienced differently. So what a gift to be alive at this time and to be able to just receive and let go. That trust fall for no one. That trust fall for the illusion that was never real. That trust fall for the nervous system that believes it's unsafe without its illusions. But nothing really matters. But not in a nihilistic way. In a freedom way. Overwhelming freedom. Insane amount of freedom. inherently here